Thank you. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first annual Burning Hammer Vendetta Sports Media End of Year Awards. Thank you, guys. Seriously, I know, we gotta get on with the podcast. So we have a lot of awards to give out tonight, so we greatly appreciate all the cheers and everything, but the show must go on. Dillon is soaking in these applause. Thank you. That was truly a great
That was
welcome
incredible,
from
man.
all of you guys watching and listening at home. I know you were cheering along and applauding along with the Burning Hammer faithfuls. So, like I said, this is the Vendetta Sports Media / Burning Hammer End of Year Awards. We will be giving out awards for 10 different categories that are wrestlers or wrestling matches from AEW and WWE. That being because me and Dillon pretty much only watch AEW and WWE. I know there's other professional wrestling companies, but we are two dudes, so we can not cover that much wrestling. So that's why all of the nominees and winners will ultimately be from WWE or AEW. Like I said, there are 10 awards to give out. Each winner will receive a burnt hammer. And so, Dilla, what are you looking? You got any thoughts before we get started into the ceremonies?
Yeah, Mark. So excited to be here. So excited to be alongside you to co-host the first ever Burning Hammer podcast / Vendetta Sports Media Professional Wrestling End of Year Awards. Yeah, we've got a lot of burnt hammers to give out. We've got a lot of great wrestling, great wrestlers and great matches and great moments from throughout the year of 2022. Because this was just a great year of wrestling. And I am beyond excited to get into this award show. And I think there's no better way to get it started than to get right into it, if you ask me, Mark. And our first category of the Burning Hammer Awards is Moment of the Year. Mark, Moment of the Year is a category that is 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 so special. You know what I mean? Because we have two separate categories. This is Moment of the Year doesn't just mean a time that a move was hit. You know what I mean? A moment is the most memorable, the most special thing in your mind when you think back and you're like, remember that moment in time from wrestling in 2022. What moment represents the year 2022 for the Burning Hammer Awards? The nominees are Cody Rhodes returns to WWE at WrestleMania 38. Sami Zayn officially becomes an honorary Uso when Roman Reigns gives him his t-shirt. MJF wins the AEW World Championship at Full Gear. The Elite return at Full Gear. Guys, those are your nominees for Moment of the Year. Like we said last week, we're going to try to have two nominees from each company that we cover. And guys, can I get a drum roll, please? I am more than excited to announce the first ever burnt hammer goes to Cody Rhodes, returning at WrestleMania 38.
What a moment. What a moment. Truly surreal to watch Cody Rhodes pop up out of the I believe they're calling it the Cody Vader. Up through the entrance. I know we watched it together. Very special moment, and it was just incredible. Lights go out, and all you hear is wrestling has more than one royal family. Then his awesome theme plays, popped up. What a moment. Whoa.
Whoa, that's in my freedom. Yeah,
What
great
a
song. I
moment.
was listening to it today. Um,
It is. It's just a great song.
yeah, seriously, what an incredible song. We're definitely gonna have to do a draft on great WWE theme songs, and great just wrestling theme songs in general. Definitely gonna have to do a draft segment on that. But bringing it back to the main focus, Cody Rhodes returning at WWE's WrestleMania 38 is the 2022 Burnt Hammer Moment of the Year. And I think it was I think it's rightfully so. I think that this is the when I look back on 2022, I think that really is one of the biggest moments of the year of my lifetime as a professional wrestling fan. It was something that, as it's given us time to settle in, and we haven't been able to watch Cody on TV as of recently. It really, I feel like you start to forget like how absurd the idea of Cody Rhodes going back to WWE was at one point. I think it's really easy to forget how like this guy was the heart and soul behind AEW. There is no All Elite Wrestling without Cody Rhodes.
And it's
That's just a simple fact. The
yeah.
company doesn't exist. And the fact that he was the first one, of anyone to go from AEW back to WWE, um, and to make that transition, it was what a surreal moment at WrestleMania, nonetheless. What a match with Seth. I mean, Seth just laughing as he like walks up and just looks through, dude. And it's like, never in my life have I expected a return so much. Like everyone almost knew it was happening, you know what I mean? But it didn't matter. It was still like up until the moment it happened, and while it was happening, it was so special. So I am more than pleased to present the first ever Burnt Hammer award to Cody Rhodes returning at WrestleMania. What a magical moment.
Yeah, for sure. And I just, it's like what made it crazy is because we've seen when Cody was in AEW before, just
Hmm.
him taking like shot after shot. I mean, their first show, he used a sledgehammer and smashed Triple H's stone chair. Um, and just throughout the years of AEW just taking shots at him and WWE, they wouldn't let Cody Rhodes go by Cody Rhodes until like his like the year before he went, like for like 2 years after well, since he left WWE, they had to call him Cody. And then I think in like his final year with the company, he finally was able to use his real name, Cody Rhodes, in AEW, which was also a pretty unreal thing to happen. But I mean, I couldn't agree more. I'm happy that this one, I think it is an unreal moment and one that I think in the future is going to be a very big moment, bigger than we could ever comprehend right now. Because, like you said, he is the first AEW guy to go to WWE, and they did not change the way that his character was. He had the same jacket, the same gear, the same song. His presentation was exactly the same as it was in AEW, and I think that is
It probably
probably the biggest thing of it all.
Yeah, absolutely. It probably helped getting that tattooed on his neck because he's just like, dude, you guys have no choice. I have a giant, obnoxious tattoo of this logo on my neck. I
Yeah.
have to be the American Nightmare. Um, but no, all jokes aside, Cody Rhodes years back, he that's when he quote unquote bet on himself leaving the company, turning down a contract, and boy did he he definitely won that bet more than WWE did. But regardless, so happy to have him back in WWE. His return at Mania was an incredible moment.
Yes, and hopefully we'll get another incredible moment when he returns, if he returns at the Royal Rumble. But moving on to our next category, Dylan mentioned it before, that was Moment of the Year, and we're going to give you the Spot of the Year. Yes, this is strictly wrestling moves or just like a wrestling maneuver performed during a match. spot of the year. The nominees are Brock Lesnar lifts half of the ring with a tractor at SummerSlam. Becky Lynch's leg drop from the top of the War Games cage through a table at Survivor Series War Games. Eddie Kingston tries to burn Chris Jericho alive during the Anarchy at the Arena match at Double or Nothing. Eddie Kingston throws Sammy Guevara off the top of the Blood and Guts cage through a table at the Blood and Guts show. There are your nominees for Spot of the Year. And the winner of the Burnt Hammer for Spot of the Year. Brock Lesnar lifts half of the ring with a tractor at SummerSlam.
Wow. I mean, this
Not much more you could say about
yeah,
that moment.
in my opinion, this one was a no-brainer for me. I don't know about you.
For me also.
Yeah, I mean, that moment, first of all, say what you want. When it comes to certain spots and certain things, I mean, just like Brock, like who they are, it adds to that moment. The fact that this was Brock Lesnar adds to the moment. You know what I mean? Because we're just like, dude, this was Cowboy Brock Lesnar being insane, like literally lifting the ring with a tractor while Roman Reigns was inside of it, rolling like, just such an incredible moment. I literally, it's burned into my head. I'm always going to remember it. Like it's never, when you think of that match, like that's what you remember. When you think probably the last Roman and Brock match, maybe not ever, but for a good while, let's hope. And yeah, it was that, and it was insane, and definitely glad that that's the image we get to remember that feud with.
It was definitely pretty unreal to watch live. And I mean, like you said, the way Roman sold it to the way he fell back down the ring and then out of the ring, it was unreal. I've never seen anything quite like it before. Um, in like the previous decades, there was like Mick Foley and Undertaker like falling through the Hell in the Cell, or Foley getting thrown off the top. Like this is sort of like what that moment is for us. And so it is something that I will never forget. And I just remember because they still wrestled for a good amount of time after that with
After
the
that,
ring in the air. And I just remember being extremely stressed out with like the ring just like falling and just like someone getting seriously hurt. But that was the spot of the year for the Burning Hammer and Vendetta Sports Media. Congratulations to Brock Lesnar. You get the Burnt Hammer for spot of the year for lifting half of the ring with a tractor at SummerSlam.
all right. So we're gonna move right on to the next category, and the next category for the next Burnt Hammer Award is Faction of the Year. The nominees are Jericho Appreciation Society, JAS, Blackpool Combat Club, The Bloodline, The Judgment Day, and the winner is a unanimous vote leads to the Bloodline victory. I mean, this category feels like it was handpicked for the Bloodline.
Yeah, I mean, this was the Bloodlines category to win. But I don't want it to be forgotten. There was a ton of really good factions this year, but the Bloodline truly was in a league of their own. This was the only unanimous vote. All 5 people voted for this one. No one else voted for any other faction. So it definitely just shows how dominant and how much everyone appreciated the Bloodline. I mean, we saw them grow so much with Jimmy, with Jay, with the honorarius, Sami Zayn with Solo Sikoa, Paul Heyman turning on Roman and then coming back. So a lot has happened with the Bloodline, and they are truly having a historic run and one that will be remembered for decades to come. And I know personally, I cannot wait to tell my children about the tribal chief, about the Bloodline, about the Enforcer, about the Usos, about the honorarius, Sami Zayn. It's going to be a great story to tell.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I mean, like you said, it could almost seem like with the way that the bloodline ran away with this, it could almost seem like it was a category handmade for the bloodline. But I mean, there was an abundance of great factions this year. The work that Jericho and the Jericho Appreciation Society has been so entertaining. The Blackpool Combat Club, I mean, really just like an all-star team of guys with Moxley and Claudio and Wheeler and Danielson, and you had Regal in there who did make his departure from AEW, but I mean that picture of all them leaning with the titles and stuff, it's just such a great picture. Like, and then of course the Judgment Day. I mean, after a really confusing and kind of bumpy start, trying to find their identity, um, they've moved more into this. The Judgment Day now is like, I feel like they were trying to push it as like this dark demonic thing, and they're still kind of dark and stuff like that, but they're really pushing like the fact that they're just straight up assholes. Like they're not trying to be any like magic, like, you know what I mean? They're just like, humor goes a long way as a heel. It really does. And um so I just wanted to say that, but despite all, I say that to say, oh, despite all those great factions, I mean, it really was like a no-brainer. This is the bloodline, man. I mean, the so much they've given us over the past year. So many great memories. This I'll give an honorable mention to moment of the year, which debatably could have been one of the nominees. Is the moment after the War Games match with Sami Zayn hugging all the hugging Jey Uso and hugging all the Usos and Roman, and officially becoming a member of the bloodline. I mean, who's no one's ever going to forget that moment, you know what I mean? When you think of this Roman run, you think of the bloodline. When you think of this bloodline run, you think of each individual member. They've all had their chance to shine throughout the year. It's just been such an incredible run with the bloodline. So I'm more than happy and more than proud that they are getting this award.
For sure. And before we move on, we have some business to handle with making sure everybody. I know, but we got to pay the bills. So if you're not already, make sure to follow The Burning Hammer on their social media. On Twitter, we are at The Burnt Hammer. On Instagram and TikTok, we are at The Burning Hammer. That's the best way to stay up to date with when we release new episodes of the pod. Plus, we cover all of the news, rumors, reports, fantasy stuff, anything like that. Make sure to follow us on our social media. And make sure to follow Vendetta Sports Media on their social media. On Twitter, they are at Vendetta VSM. On Instagram and TikTok, they are at Vendetta Sports Media. And make sure to check out vendettasportsmedia.com for all of your sports needs. Not only do they cover professional wrestling, they cover any and every sport. They cover gaming, they cover music, literally anything you can think of. Head over to vendettasportsmedia.com to get all of your latest news for anything. And if you are listening via audio streaming service, first of all, thank you. Second of all, make sure to follow, subscribe, and leave us a review. It really goes a long way. If you're watching on YouTube, stop what you're doing. Like, comment, subscribe. If you're watching on Vendetta, head over to The Burning Hammer. Make sure to subscribe to The Burning Hammer. If you're watching on The Burning Hammer, head over to Vendetta Sports Media and do all of that same stuff. Support the mission, support the cause. We are the Burning Hammer, and we are part of the Vendetta Sports Media team. So definitely just do little things like that. Really helps us out a lot. So without a further ado, let's move to the next category, which is feud of the year. Everybody loves a good feud, and we had a ton of them this year. So the nominees for feud of the year are Sheamus versus Gunther, Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. Jericho Appreciation Society versus Blackpool Combat Club. MJF versus CM Punk. Ton of good feuds. There are, I'm sure, a lot that you could have in this category, but these are the four that we decided are the nominees. And the winner of the Burnt Hammer for Feud of the Year goes to MJF versus CM Punk. Now, before we get too far into this, I know that CM Punk sort of left with a sour taste in everyone's mouth, but his feud with MJF was truly one to remember, and it was Feud of the Year voted by the Burning Hammer and Vendetta Sports Media. So many good moments, and I really feel like it did them both a really good pleasure to do this and to have this feud and to just feud with each other.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, it might have leave a sour taste in some people's mouths with the way the whole thing with Punk ended up in AEW. But and it is a shame that we probably never got the proper end to this feud that we thought we were going to get with Punk versus MJF, and then whatever led to whatever. Anyway, I just think this feud was just so amazing. I mean, like, these two guys are on the mic. I mean, are truly wizards. Like, they are just like, they're when they have a microphone in their hand, it is like they're holding a fucking lightsaber, and these two guys are just battling. And it's I mean, the promos we got, and the passion between this feud, so many great moments. So and it's unfortunate, like we said, that it didn't probably have the conclusion that we all wanted, but it's definitely my favorite feud from this past year, because it's a feud that that I thought I was only ever going to dream of, and it ended up happening in real life, and it was amazing. And yeah,
truly so many great moments from this feud. They had that great, I believe it was a dog collar match.
mm-hmm.
Blood everywhere. CM Punk came out to like his old gear and his old song, which was incredible. So I know it didn't end the way anyone wanted it to, but it was still an amazing feud, and it still wins the Burnt Hammer for Feud of the Year. Dillon, what's the next category?
Mark, the next category is Female Match of the Year. The nominees are Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 38. Women's War Games match at Survivor Series War Games. Jamie Hayter versus Toni Storm at AEW Full Gear. Jamie Hayter versus Hikaru Shida at Holiday Bash AEW. I forgot to say the AEW before Holiday Bash. And the winner of the Burnt Hammer for Female Match of the Year is the Women's War Games match at Survivor Series War Games. Yeah,
Truly,
Mark, let's get your thoughts.
An incredible match. I mean, the women have put on incredible War Games matches before in NXT, but to have this group of women compete in this type of match, I mean, the number of stars in this match, and there were so many great moments. Io Sky doing the moonsault off the top of the cage. We talked about Becky Lynch delivering the leg drop. Dakota Kai just being Dakota Kai, and then there was that great moment with Mia Yim and Rhea Ripley putting her through the table. I know we talked about on a previous episode, and so there are so many great moments and memories from this match that
no, it wasn't through a table; it was a ladder.
The ladder, yes,
which makes it. Yeah. I only wanted to say it because, like, in my head, I pictured it as a table too, and then I was like, wait, why was it so? I remember it being like more crazy than just the table. Yeah,
it was just because I was like looking up pictures.
No,
from
yeah,
another match,
I remember.
and
Yeah, Dude, I thought it was a
But
table too, but in my head I was like, "Wait, I feel like that spot was crazier than just the table." No, it was the
yeah,
ladder, and it
and
totally was not supposed to break.
dude, I just remember I was watching it with my girlfriend, and we probably talked about this before, but like after that happened, I like tried to explain to her like that I don't think that ladder should have broke. Like that ladder, like ladders don't break like that when you're doing that move. And like I had
Uh-huh.
to explain like the force in which that move had to be performed to break a ladder when it was positioned like that.
Yeah.
Unreal. I'm happy that it won the burnt hammer for female match of the year.
Yeah,
It was a memorable one for sure.
shout out to every woman who competed in the match. So we had Damage Control, Bailey, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, and they were teamed up with Rhea Ripley and
Nikki
Nikki
Cross,
Cross, and they were going up against Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Becky Lynch, and
Mia
Mia
Yim,
Yim, and just 10 women who are at the top of the game that are next level competitors. 10 of the best women, in wrestling for sure. And we had really an incredible match. And to me, there was all some great match. There were some great matches this year, but like that one, I mean, like I could probably watch. Like, there's certain matches, man, that I can watch. I literally like like I can literally watch it at any time. Like I will never. Like, I could, like, when we're done right now, like, I could sit down and be like, I'm just gonna watch the women's War Games match, and I could just watch it, and it would be like great.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, that's definitely that match was so awesome. I remember I texted you right after it happened, and I was like, dude, that was like one of the best matches that I've seen in a long time. Like, um, yeah, what a great match.
yeah. Truly remarkable, truly memorable, and it won the burnt hammer for female match of the year. So moving on to the male match of the year, a ton of incredible men's matches also, but the nominees for male match of the year are Hangman Page versus Bryan Danielson on AEW Dynamite January 5th. Anarchy at the Arena match at Double or Nothing. Sheamus versus Gunther at Clash at the Castle. Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins at Hell in a Cell. I mean, just those four alone, any four could win match of the year for the men. But the match of the year for the men is Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins. Hell in a Cell. I mean, give it up to him. I mean, come on.
Yeah. So I want to say this. This category was tough to pick a match of the year, man. There's so many great memorable matches. It was really hard picking the nominees. I mean, like, so many honorable mentions we could give. Um, but when it's all said and done, I mean, this match was just so incredible. Might not have been the best technical wrestling match in the world, you know what I mean? But from bell to bell, the not even bell to bell, the entire story from the moment the promo starts before the match. And I rewatched all these match of the year. I rewatched these match of the year candidates, and I rewatched that match yesterday, Cody versus Seth, or a couple days ago, and it's just like, dude, from the moment the promo starts, and then Seth comes out and he takes off the robe and he's wearing the dusty gear, and then fucking Cody comes out, and he does his whatever, you know what I mean? And people are like, holy shit, I can't even believe that he's actually even here. Like, people, there were reports, we didn't even know what was going to happen. And then he does this thing and he goes, ah, and it was beautiful. And then he gets in the ring and then they square off. He takes off the robe and you just see how disgusting the pectoral and lower bicep and arm and chest area of Cody Rhodes look. Um, it just literally looked unbearable. I literally have no idea how he competed in that match. I'm assuming with some help with some friends, because I have no idea how you go through that pain in that match. Hoping they give you a little bit something because he deserves it. Like Jesus. Um, and just like the spots in the yeah, not to mention like when I say that it might not have been the best technical wrestling match. It was still a great match. Like still a great match. And Cody Rhodes had a torn fucking pec. Like and he wrestled this match with a torn pec. Um I mean, the amount of near falls, dude, the amount of spots. Seth taking the splash through the table with nobody home. Zero part of me thought that was going to happen. They don't do that. They don't have people jump off the top ropes to land on a table that with nobody on it to break their fall. They don't do it very often. I'm not saying it's like the craziest thing, but it was just cool, man. It was just what an incredible match. What an incredible story was told throughout the match, throughout really showed the resiliency of Cody Rhodes and how bad he just like this return and this next run in WWE is going to mean to him and to his family. And um gosh, just what a great match. From like that's what I mean. Just like the story told throughout that match was incredible. And that's the main reason why I don't think they need to pick up the Cody and Seth feud again when Cody does return. There's reports that might happen. Go a little off topic for a second. I don't think they need to do it because I think this match was just like, how are you going to continue the feud after that match? Like, I understand Cody's been out for so long, but that match was just such the perfect ending, dude. Cody beat him 3 straight times. Like, and it's just, oh God, that match, I could talk about that match all day. I could rewatch that match all day. It's so good.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you watched the recap Raw from this past Monday night, but they did like a recap show, and then they had like throughout sprinkled in some like live videos of like interviews of people, and they had Cody Rhodes appear on there. And in case you didn't watch it, he didn't come out and say I'm going for the WWE championship, but he pretty much alluded to it. And then he also talked that he pretty much said that he's done with Seth Rollins and he doesn't want to wrestle him anymore. So we'll have to see. I mean, I still think Cody Rhodes is winning the WWE championship next. So, and I think
Me
he's gonna win the
too.
Royal Rumble. So I don't know how
Same.
they're gonna fit in the Rollins feud
I
into
don't.
that.
I kind of just think it's a report. I don't think that's where they're gonna go.
Yeah. And they're smarter than that to know they just wrestled 3 insane matches earlier this year. They ended it on a perfect note. Like, just leave it at that, at least
Yeah.
for now. Like, maybe if Cody wins the WWE title, like, have Seth
No, yeah,
continue
that's the
these.
other thing. I'm not saying never again. Like they just need to give it like it just can't be the first feud back. They can't just continue that feud
Yeah.
because it's just like Cody like Rollins has no reason to wrestle Cody Rhodes again.
Yeah,
Like
for sure. And
like Cody
I
Rhodes can just be like if it like like the explanation would just be like Rollins being like I want to fight you again and Cody would be like, "Well, I beat you 3 times, dude. Like I don't like I beat you 3 times in a row." You know what I mean?
yeah.
But don't let that take away from how incredible. And like I said, we say that because of how perfect this match was to ending the feud. Like it was just amazing.
Yeah, for sure. And I remember watching it. First of all, let's get rid of the red hell in the cell cage,
Oh
please.
yeah,
Second
absolutely.
of all, that's a conversation for another day.
There
But once
I'm
Cody
sure it's
Rhodes
gone.
took off his jacket, like you can just feel the energy in the crowd from just like watching it on TV of everyone just being like, "Oh my god." And like
Dude,
it
yeah.
just the life of the arena got sucked out once
You
he
were just like
revealed it. And it looked fake. I like still
yeah,
can't
dude.
believe it like it's unreal, man.
Yeah, no.
Unreal. So happy to give that the burnt hammer for male match of the year, Dillon. Why don't you give out the award for the next category?
Absolutely, Mark, and I'd be more than happy to do so. The next category we got is Breakout Wrestler of the Year. This award is going to not necessarily the most improved in ring, not necessarily the most improved on the mic, not necessarily the rookie of the year. This is the wrestler who has used 2022 to kind of make their name, break out,
Catapult themselves.
catapult themselves into bigger wrestling stardom. The nominees for Breakout Wrestler of the Year are Hook, Jade Cargill, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, and the winner is Liv Morgan takes it home for Breakout
Go.
Wrestler of the Year. New Jersey, where me and Mark are from, Southern New
That's
Jersey.
right.
Mark,
I mean, I'll
what do you
take this one away. I mean, Liv Morgan had, I think this might be like the definition of breakout wrestler of the year. She's always been like a pretty talented wrestler, but this year she really took her talents to a new height. If we had most improved wrestler, she would have won it by far. But I mean, just winning Money in the Bank, pinning Ronda Rousey. She won the SmackDown Women's Championship. She beat Shayna Baszler, and she just really broke out this year. And I think she did push herself into that next tier of women, with the Becky Lynches, with the Baileys, with the Bianca Belairs. I think she really did put herself in that tier, which is something that doesn't happen to every wrestler. And I think that's one thing that really separated her from the other nominees in this category. And I'll say this, I didn't even realize it, but Hook just started wrestling this year, which is pretty surreal to think. Hook and Jade Cargill are both undefeated, I believe. I know Jade Cargill is. I'm pretty confident Hook still hasn't lost yet. So um, I think they had really good years, but I feel like they were more stagnant to where Liv Morgan was having a good year, but then she like and then just shot up. So that's why I'm happy with Liv Morgan winning the Burnt Hammer for Breakout Wrestler of the Year.
Yeah, and it might not and Liv, her title run might might not go down as the greatest title run in WWE history that she got this year, but that moment of her winning Money in the Bank, people did not think they were going to pull the trigger on that. You know what I mean? People did not think they were going to pull the trigger on having her cash in and win. It would be cool to have a woman hold the Money in the Bank briefcase for more than a night, but nonetheless, it was just so awesome. It was just so awesome to see. Really happy for Liv Morgan for getting this award. I think she deserves it, and I think there's even better things to come in the future for Liv Morgan. And I think 2023 is going to be good to her.
For sure. And I know we've talked about it before in the past, but like her title run was of it being not that great is like not her fault at all. She was just booked so poorly
Yeah,
throughout that.
it was
So,
just
and that was the main thing. Like we've always talked about it. We've said it many times before. Like it was never Liv Morgan. It was just the way she got booked for her championship run. But regardless, happy to give her the Burnt Hammer for Breakout Wrestler of the Year. Moving on to the next category, we have Tag Team of the Year. This was a great year all around throughout any company for tag team wrestling. I feel like tag team wrestling really takes a step up every year, and it used to get taken not that seriously, but I think we are now at a point in professional wrestling as a whole where they are starting to main event shows, they're main eventing pay-per-views, they're starting to build more storylines with tag team wrestling. So it's good to see. But the nominees for Tag Team of the Year are the Usos, the Street Profits, FTR, the Acclaimed. Four really good tag teams right there. Honestly, any of them could win Tag Team of the Year, but the winner of the Burnt Hammer for Tag Team of the Year is, say yeah, FTR. Let's give it up for FTR, everybody. Everyone listening, give them a round of applause. I mean, good grief. What a year FTR had this year. I mean, they held 3 titles, AAA, ROH, IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Gold, and they've said it many times. This was definitely the best year of their career in 2022. They got to wrestle in various different promotions against legends against various different opponents, dream match after dream match. Their trilogy with the Briscoes could and probably very well may go down as the best trilogy of all time. So FTR truly deserving of the tag team of the year. Check your mailbox, everybody, because we will be sending a burnt hammer to all of the winners. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, man. Shout out to FTR. I mean, I don't want to talk too much about Dax's solo stuff because this is the tag team of the year award. But I mean, just the amount that they've accomplished this year. I mean, being triple champions is pretty insane. Just the amount of, like you said, dream match after dream match. We got FTR and the Briscoes, FTR and the Bucks, FTR and yeah,
The Lucha Bros.
Lucha Bros. Like just match after match. FTR have said for a really long time that they are the best tag team in the world, and this year the Burning Hammer agrees because they just absolutely took it to new heights this year. Match after match, show after show, they really made their name, and in a category that is so loaded this year with the Usos becoming the longest reigning WWE Tag Team Champions, and the Acclaimed like really just popping off and really becoming some of the best work coming out of AEW. It's really shows you just like how good of a year this really was for FTR. And I highly suggest to go back and binge some FTR matches. These guys know what they're doing. They're two of the best in the world, and especially when it comes to working together.
For sure. Definitely, I feel like not enough people have watched their NXT matches. Their NXT matches were unreal. With American Alpha specifically, those guys did not put on a bad match. So it goes to show 3, 4, 5 years ago, they were still putting on incredible matches in WWE's developmental system. So FDR have been those dudes for quite some time now. And so it's good to see that they finally got to prove it to everyone. And like you said, the Burning Hammer agrees. FTR, you're winners of the Burnt Hammer for Tag Team of the Year.
Hell yeah. So let's get right into this next category. 2 categories left and 2 more burnt hammers to give out this year. Our next category is Female Wrestler of the Year. The nominees are Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Toni Storm, Jamie Hayter, and the winner of the Burnt Hammer is Bianca Belair.
I mean, what a year Belair had. Truly
Yeah, I
remarkable.
mean, this one kind of felt like a no-brainer as well, in my opinion, just with the year that Bianca Belair's had. And more than anything else, you can say, WWE over the last few years in their women's division, they've had a few women that have sat atop the division, and despite the success throughout others and title runs, I really feel like the WWE women's division always went back to the 4 horsewomen. It always went back to Charlotte, Becky, Sasha, and Bayley, and there was no one quite at the top like those 4. And I feel like you could probably agree. And it's no disrespect. I mean, those 4 women really like led the division for the last few years. And then over the last couple years, Bianca Belair has really and in last, I would say 2021 was a great year for her as well. But really, 2022, I think this year is really where she just like really put her stake in the ground and claimed her spot among the top women competitors in the world. And I think that as long as she's an active wrestler, there's certain people that as long as they're active, as long as they're not retired, they're going to be viewed as one of the top competitors in the world. And I think Bianca Belair has earned that status at this point. match after match, promo after promo. She's just a superstar, man. Like, and I don't say that as in like a WWE superstar. I mean, like, no, she's a superstar as in like she's a star, man. She's big. She's incredible. She's incredible. So yeah, I mean, just her match with Becky at Mania, was debatably, if that won Women's Match of the Year, it wouldn't have been like I wouldn't have been mad about it at all. Her and Becky at Mania was absolutely incredible. Her whole storyline with Becky, from SummerSlam all the way back up to Mania was really incredible. And to This has just been such a great year for Bianca Belair, and I'm just like very happy that she has established herself atop the women's wrestling division.
Definitely. And I think I couldn't agree more. I think she did sort of catapult herself into like the tier of Charlotte Flair, of Bayley, of Becky, of Sasha. So I think that's something that WWE is definitely going to do more, is to push some new stars, some fresh blood into the next tier and into the mix more. I think we could see Rhea Ripley hit that status. I think we could see Asuka hit that status. I think Liv Morgan can still hit that status. So the future is definitely looking bright for the women's division in WWE as a whole. So they definitely have a lot of talent. It's going to be interesting to see where they go from there. But the final award to give out, the final burnt hammer, goes to Male Wrestler of the Year. Our nominees are Jon Moxley, the god of professional wrestling, Kenny Omega, the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, Seth freaking Rollins. I mean, talk about a group of nominees that have been having an incredible year. Any one of these guys, I may have said it for every category, but this one truly, any one of these four men could win Wrestler of the Year. So there's definitely a lot outside of these, but I mean, these are for the cream of the crop, as they would say. So the burnt hammer for Male Wrestler of the Year goes to Jon Moxley. Everyone give it up for Jon Moxley. I mean, it's no mistake that all three members of the Shield were nominees. It really goes to show how incredibly talented those three men are. But Jon Moxley rose to the top in 2022, really carried AEW throughout the year. The man was supposed to go on a 6-week vacation, but then he came back because we know what happened with CM Punk, and he won the AEW championship. So, I mean, this guy has been carrying AEW not only for this year, but seemingly since like every year since he joined the company.
He joined the company on the first show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did he?
Yeah, the first Double or Nothing. He made his debut.
Hell yeah. All right. There you
That's
go.
what I mean. No, I was going to say.
I didn't even realize that.
No, yeah, the first Double or Nothing. He made his debut. Yeah, dude. Moxley is AEW, man. Moxley is AEW.
For sure. And he's one of the. He wrestles an insane amount of matches per year.
So many.
This is a guy not only for AEW, but he wrestles and appears in smaller independent companies frequently. We've seen him appear in GCW. We've seen him appear in New Japan. We've seen him appear in various promotions throughout the year. He puts the work in. He truly loves professional wrestling. So Jon Moxley, Male Wrestler of the Year for the Burning Hammer and Vendetta Sports Media.
So deserving. And yeah, like I said, the year Roman Reigns has had has been incredible. I think the thing that probably costed Roman Reigns this is you just didn't wrestle enough, I would say, probably. And Seth Rollins probably didn't win enough. And Kenny Omega was probably on the shelf for a little bit too long. But Jon Moxley just really this year just staked his claim as just an absolute legend, a future Hall of Famer. I mean, it really is so insane. Seth, Roman, and Mox, how they're like really are probably the three biggest wrestlers in the world, along with MJF. And they were the three guys in the Shield. You know what I mean? Like that. That when Roman goes into the Hall of Fame, thinking about it, that's going to be pretty insane because Roman's probably going to go into the Hall of Fame for the Shield, himself, and the Bloodline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's gonna be definitely
But
happy with John Moxley.
let's bring this back to Mox. Just like, dude, what I mean, Mox again, a Faction of the Year nominee for the Blackpool Combat Club. He won the title twice this year. He put just like the last match, possibly last wrestling match from CM Punk ever, was against John Moxley, and it was a pretty damn good match as well. I won't even lie. So
I also just remember like Moxley just like squashing CM Punk, which was pretty surreal.
dude, what an
and his
amazing
promo after that was awesome. He just cut it and he was just like, "Oh, that didn't go how you expect," and then he just went off, man. I mean,
yeah.
good Lord,
That's
unscripted violence.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, dude, Mox is just next level talent. He's in my opinion, he's kind of the heart and soul of AEW. I think AEW would be, especially with how all the Punk stuff went down. If they didn't have Mox, who knows where they'd be. But luckily they do, man, and luckily John Moxley has his run in AEW. He's really cemented his name atop the best guys in the world, the best guys ever, and he wasn't really getting an opportunity to do that in WWE. It seems, especially at the level that he's really gotten to now. So congratulations to John Moxley.
Yes, and congratulations to all of the winners and all of the nominees for the Burnt Hammer. Let's give it up for them, everybody. Let's give them a clap. Winners, check your mailbox because you have some Burnt Hammers coming your way. This is going to be an annual thing that...
God, keep it going, yeah. Come on. All right.
You're going to have to check out the podcast on YouTube to see what Dillon was doing throughout all of that. I'm going to leave it up to everyone to go scout that out and find what Dillon was doing during the applause. But that being said, that was the first ever, the inaugural Burning Hammer / Vendetta Sports Media End of Year Awards for 2022. Like I said, congratulations to all of the nominees.
All the winners.
And congratulations to all of the winners. Truly a really good year for professional wrestling as a whole. And I'm really excited to see where 2023 takes us. Quick note, Dragon Lee did just sign with WWE. He's going to start in NXT in January. That with William Regal reportedly returning to NXT really gives you hope, and it's a great time to be a professional wrestling fan. So if you want to stay up to date with when we release new episodes of the podcast, follow us on social media. On Twitter, we are at The Burnt Hammer. On Instagram and TikTok, we are at The Burning Hammer. It's the best way to stay up to date with when we release new episodes. Plus, all of your professional wrestling news, rumors, reports, fantasy booking, anything like that. Follow us on social media and follow Vendetta Sports Media on their social accounts. On Twitter, they are at Vendetta VSM. On Instagram and TikTok, they are at Vendetta Sports Media. And visit vendettasportsmedia.com for all of your professional wrestling needs and all of your sports needs. They cover any and every sport, including professional wrestling, including gaming, including music, including movies, literally anything, they cover it. So head over to vendettasportsmedia.com to read all of their latest articles. They cover a ton of stuff. And if you're listening via audio streaming service, make sure to follow, make sure to subscribe, and make sure to leave us a review. It really helps us out, and it really just does us wonders for more than you could ever understand. It really just helps the show out, helps us grow, helps us reach new listeners, new viewers. So please do that And if you're watching on YouTube, if you're on the Burning Hammers YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, and head over to Vendetta Sports Media. And if you're watching on Vendetta Sports Media, like, comment, subscribe, and follow Dillon on Twitter at DillO'Brien_wave. And you can follow me on Twitter at MarkIzzo_wave. That's the best way to stay up to date with when we publish new articles, along with getting our immediate and initial reactions involving anything in professional wrestling. Make sure to follow us on social media, follow the Burning Hammer, and follow Vendetta Sports Media. I'm Mark Izzo. He's Dillon O'Brien. And this has been another episode of the Burning Hammer podcast. We'll catch you next week.